University. We are going to make you work hard in the classroom. I mean, you're going to every class. Now, you tell the parents, I feel like I'm wimp here. You tell the parents, now, hey, we're going to make sure their academics are in order. We're going to stay on them about their academics. But that's a really broad
But that's
stay
one
on
thing.
them. Yeah.
That's one thing. And I'm okay with that. I want you to stay on my kid academically and all that. But I don't want it to be some extraordinary academic obstacle that other schools don't have.
Right.
And that's all Marcus Freeman was saying, that Notre Dame is a cut above the rest. And that's not breaking news. It's always been that way. It is that way, and it's great for Notre Dame. It is why Brian Kelly's at LSU.
Yeah, if you miss what he said, basically, I'm just going to paraphrase. I don't have it right in front of me, but Marcus Freeman basically said at places like Cincinnati, where he was the defensive coordinator, Ohio State, where he coached, he goes, those are bigger schools. He said, 60,000 students, 40,000 students in the school like that. He said, you miss a class, you go online, you don't show up for class, you go online, you show up for the final. Okay, just show up for the final. He said at Notre Dame, it's 8,500. You go to class every day. It's 8,500 students or whatever the number is.
Yeah, they notice you when you're not in class.
That's right. And I think that's what Marcus Freeman was saying. It got construed that he was saying at Ohio State, you just take an online class, show up for the final, and you're good. And then once he started getting heat for it, he doubled back on Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports, who wrote the article, saying I was misquoted. And the weird thing was, he said, I called Dennis, and I got him to play for me my quote, and I wrote it down. This is what he told, I think 97 won the ticket in Columbus. He goes, so I wrote it down. Here's what I said. So then he recounts exactly what he said, reading from what he wrote down. And if you compare it to Dennis, it's exactly what Dennis put in the column or the article, whatever it was. So I don't know how Marcus Freeman's saying he's been misquoted.
Yeah, that's the Marcus Freeman side of it.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed by the Ohio State folks who got really upset about this, because I think it would hurt your recruiting if Notre Dame and Ohio State were the same academically. I don't think you'd be able to get the same athletes you're getting into Ohio State. I would agree. I don't think you would be the football powerhouse you are today if Ohio State and Notre Dame were on the same level academically and they attacked the things the same way.
I don't disagree with you on that. I'm with you. I think if you had to meet the same academic, I think, again, it's why Brian Kelly's the coach in Baton Rouge right now. And does that say that LSU is a lesser school than Notre Dame? Yeah, for a lot of people it does. But LSU is a better football job than Notre Dame.
It's not like he called them the University of Knob Noster, right? It's just, it is.
Knob Noster you.
It is what it is right there. And I don't think if I was an Ohio State fan, I'd be too upset about what he said.
Yeah.
And he's one of your own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of those that has ever been the old, my school, I got my great academic institution. I don't care about
Part of our show being brought to you by our friend Dr. B, who's taking care of LT's hair. Mike Griffith coming up on the other side of this.
T3 Hair Restoration. That's who Lance is using with our guy, Dr. B. And he does a terrific job. Starts with that in-office visit. And they, as you could see with Scott showing you on the video, they just do the evaluation there. And then he and Lance met via Zoom, where he followed up and said, all right, here is our plan. And now Lance is enacting that plan. Oftentimes, always just sitting around watching TV. It is that easy. But the first thing you have to do is get a consultation and get started. It's not going to work for everybody. And Dr. B is going to be honest about that. He knows. T3 Hair Preservation. Just go online. Start online. You can find all the information you need. T3hair.net. That is T3hair.net.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Summer of 2022. It's time to do something new. Ocean City, Maryland. And our friends at Residence Inn by Marriott, Ocean City is ready to welcome you. Kayak from Bayside Beach, swim in the Atlantic, dine at Bayview Bar and Grill, local golf packages, great restaurants, and a lot more. See everything online at residenceinnoc.com. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Do something different this summer. Residence Inn by Marriott, Ocean City, Maryland.
The World Games are coming to Alabama, kicking off with an all-star celebration. Featuring Grammy Award winner Nelly, joined by Bootsy Collins, Alabama, Sarah Evans, Sheila E., Tony, Yolanda Adams, and Sharif Simmons. And a highlight of the official theme song, Hope of Alabama. An epic celebration for an epic event. The opening ceremony of the World Games at Birmingham's Protective Stadium, July 7th. Get your tickets now at TWG2022.com.
Summer weather is finally here. Make sure your air conditioner is ready for the Alabama heat. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the ones to call for all of your HVAC needs. Hemphill Services is a locally owned and operated independent train dealer, and the team can service all makes and models. Get the guys at Hemphill Services to make sure your HVAC unit is ready to help you beat the Alabama heat this summer. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, do what I do. Call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090. Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Drunk driving prevention is a priority at Anheuser-Busch. You can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Encourage friends to join in the pledge to Decide to Ride on DecideToRide.com. Brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Uber, Birmingham Budweiser, and the Next Round. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app. The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and Bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
Major League Baseball, the NBA, when the time is right, we may do a little Canadian football too. There's always some action for you at Lance'sLock.com, where we have my top picks for you in every league every single day. All it takes, $3 a day. $90 monthly subscriptions get you everything. No confusing packages or any shadiness. It's all simple and 100% transparent. Try it out and win with me. Go to Lance'sLock.com. There's a free play every single day. Again, online, all your winners every day. Go to Lance'sLock.com.
There's nothing I like more than a unique, delicious meal, and that's what you get at Champy's world-famous fried chicken right on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Those great full fried chicken plates, the tenders, the po' boys, but I love the Southern staple chicken on a stick. It's perfect for a tailgate or watching the big game. And then the authentic Mississippi Delta recipe homemade tamales, the best I've ever tasted. See the whole menu or order online at champyschicken.com. For Blues, Brews, and Bird, it's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119, Alabaster.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Halfway through the show, hope you're having a great Thursday so far. U.S. Open's underway. We gave you a leaderboard update in the last segment. We got more of those coming up throughout the day. We talked yesterday about Micah Fitzpatrick becoming the highest paid safety in NFL history. The former Alabama star with that $18.5 million deal. Saw him sign that yesterday. We get into this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. About to talk college football with Mike Griffith, who's Dog Nation, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, of course, the great contributor to the SEC Network. Mike's always good and great knowledge, especially this time of year and what's about to happen in 2022. At Champy's, you can get ready for your tailgate. Win every tailgate with champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. That includes those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and great chicken platters. Southern Sides, your home for Blues, Brews, and Bird. It's champyschicken.com.
All right, Mike joins us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You can follow him on Twitter at MikeGriffith32 and read him at Dog Nation. What's up, Mike? How are you?
Doing well. Hope you're well as well.
Yeah, doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. You know, we were just discussing before we get on the field in football, and you may or may not have followed this story, but there is a question involved with it. We were talking about Marcus Freeman and some comments he made in an interview with Dennis Dodd. He didn't like the way the comments got portrayed. He kind of doubled back on Dennis. Do you find that most coaches care, and you've talked to a lot of coaches, most coaches care how their institution is viewed academically? Do you find in honest conversations that coaches care really how that institution is viewed academically?
Yeah, I mean, they're always concerned about the optics. It's, for being honest, it's a lot of talk. And, it sounds like Dennis cut to the chase. I mean, the reality of it is that some universities like Notre Dame do require more, classroom attendance than others. And, some, the online, if we're being honest, it's probably not a coincidence that all these schools started setting GPA records when they went to online classwork for, various reasons, we'll say. So, I mean, I think that there's a lot of truth to what Marcus Freeman was saying, and I think that, he probably heard from people at Ohio State and Cincinnati, what is it, the whole honor among thieves thing kind of, right? Like the whole Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban thing. It's almost like Jimbo's like, Nick, why are you calling me out, man? We've been in business together for a long time, and that's how it always was. I covered Alabama in the 90s. I remember talking with an assistant then, and I'd say, well, if you guys know that, this other SEC school is doing this and this, then why don't you say anything? And he said, back then, older segment of the audience can appreciate this. He said, well, it's like USA and USSR. It's like if one person launches a nuclear missile, they're going to launch back. And that's kind of how it's been with these programs for decades, really. And I think the whole academic part of this equation right now is probably the next domino to fall as, big-time college football starts to kind of evolve and be exposed for what it is.
We do this in sports all the time, Mike. We try to take people from different eras and bring them to now and say they could do this or couldn't do that. You had an interesting story about Herschel Walker, who is still, I believe, the SEC's all-time leading rusher, about whether or not Herschel, and we'll throw Bo Jackson in the conversation, those two guys looked different than everybody on the field back in the 80s when they were playing, at least to my eyes as a younger guy. And you write a story about could Herschel Walker survive? Could he be Herschel Walker in today's game? Tell me what you learned in talking to a legendary Georgia coach.
Well, I mean, you got to start with, the fact that Herschel was 6'2", 222 and ran a 10.22 100 meters, which is just stupefying. I mean, that translates. A lot of times when we try to apply what would this person from this era have done today, there's obviously athletic, disadvantages or limitations, and the people aren't as big, strong, or as fast. I mean, you watch old NBA guys, right, and they're all bean poles. And you're like, oh my gosh, they wouldn't be nearly physical enough. But then you see a guy like Michael Jordan, and you say, you know what, he would still kick everybody's butt. Just because you see what a physical specimen Jordan was back in the day. Well, Herschel's one of those guys that could, I think could make that transition because of his size, speed, and really was ahead of his time. He was also able to catch passes back then. Here's the thing. He is the SEC's all-time lead, and he did it in 3 seasons, by the way. He wouldn't be asked to do now what he did then. I mean, this is a guy that averaged 30 carries a game. That was his average, was 30 carries a game. I mean, you go back and look at their national championship win against Notre Dame. I think he went for 150 with a separated shoulder. In the first quarter, I think Georgia might have completed 1 pass in that game for 8 or 12. I mean, so the game's changed in terms they don't lean on the backs like they used to. He would be every bit as dynamic now as he was then, but he wouldn't be asked to have that level of volume of 30 carries a game or 47, I guess, in one game against 40.
I really believe when we talk about comparing eras, and you mentioned Buck Belew's stats there, and I mean there are stats that are riddled everywhere. I think it's the quarterbacks that can't stand up. What was a great quarterback in the 70s and 80s, I don't know where they would rate here in 2022. Running backs I can understand, linebackers, but I think quarterback and offensive linemen, I don't know how good they would be from the 1970s and 80s here in 2022.
Well, that's interesting because quarterbacks are more protected now than ever. So that's one thing that favors today's quarterback. You look at some of the hits that, John Elway and Terry Bradshaw, that those guys from the, late 70s, 80s, some of the hits and the physicality of the game, and it was not ever called a penalty, versus now, if you just push a guy and he falls down, it's kind of over the top, right? And the statistics that these quarterbacks put up are also misleading because, all these receivers are protected, right? You can throw over the middle without fear. Back in the day, the way you protected your receiver was not to throw over the middle because he'd get hit. I mean, it was the no-fly zone. It's like, look, if you try to throw over the middle, we're going to make you pay. I mean, gosh, even when I played high school football, I used to love teeing off on guys on the slants up high and, taking them down hard, because then the next time they're looking, well, now you get ejected if you hit a guy. I mean, there was a hit a couple years ago. Lewis Seen put on the Florida tight end, and the Florida tight end, ducked down before he got hit. And it was a train wreck and ended up being helmet-to-helmet because the tight end, Kyle Pitts, ducked into the hit. And the guy gets ejected. So now, I mean, you're a DB, and I don't even know how you're supposed to tackle guys, because you're not supposed to go for the knees. Can't really go for the head. You go for the upper body, and they duck. And so to your point, I think linemen in particular is probably the greatest example. We see how athletic these linemen are now, how good their footwork is. I wonder a little bit about the steroid and the medical advancements and how that's changed. It's no question people are bigger, faster, stronger now. Just, I don't know, is it the hormones in the milk? I'm not an expert on this, but there's something that's definitely changed in our diets and even just the last 30 or 40 years, how much bigger, faster, stronger. But getting back to the premise, Herschel and Bo were both fantastic. Herschel, of course, was even on an Olympic bobsled team. He's an ultimate fighter. I saw him just a couple years ago, and I mean, he still looks great. I mean, I think he eats one meal a day and does 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, the guy could literally pass for 35 years old. He's just an incredible specimen, physical specimen, and he was a great competitor. The reason he didn't come out of the game, think about this. The reason he didn't come out of the Sugar Bowl with a separated shoulder in the first quarter as a true freshman wasn't just the team. It was because his family had driven to see him, and he said he just couldn't imagine leaving the game with his family and the Superdome audience. I mean, nowadays, just imagine. I mean, good grief, they go in the medical tent, they prance around on the sideline, and is he okay? Well, we don't know. We'll check back in the second half. I mean, just so many things have changed, right?
Mike Griffith for a few more moments. Dog Nation, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You also see him on the SEC Network at Mike Griffith 32. At Mike Griffith 32 is where you would follow him on Twitter. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I want to ask you, one state over, we were discussing Shane Beamer yesterday, and he had a better than expected season last year, but it feels like to me, Mike, everything he's done, and he'll have to continue to do on the field, we know that, but everything he's done is a home run. I feel like his approval rating for South Carolina fans is got to be through the roof. It feels like this guy is doing it the right way right now, and I don't know if he can continue, but year one, I would give him an A.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Shane is the nice guy. I mean, if we're being honest about it, Sam Pittman and Shane Beamer look like two of the worst hires on paper.
There's no doubt. Yep.
And they've both had great success. And, Sam, I mean, think about, Sam Pittman, and I got to throw this out there because, Jimbo Fisher just made such an ass out of himself. I've never seen a coach lose his composure and make a personal attack like that. Forget what Nick Saban made a comment about recruiting, but watching Jimbo just imagine what he's like when he's not on camera, working with assistant coaches and players. I mean, that would scare the bejesus out of me. I would never. They could offer me a job at A&M and a media job, double my salary. I say, I'm never working for a guy like that. If he doesn't, if someone in that position doesn't have that type of self-awareness to realize how he represented himself in his school and that personal attack on Nick Saban, I've never seen anything like that. Speaking of honor in the game, but and then Beamer, right? Just the opposite. I mean, but here's the point. Sam Pittman in Arkansas beat Jimbo Fisher last year.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, that Arkansas team hadn't won an SEC game in 2 or 3, 18 losses in a row before Sam took over 2 years ago, and he beat Jimbo Fisher in his third year with his 9. I mean, holy cow! If I'm A&M, that's a flashing light. So, I mean, but Beamer, I don't know what to say yet about getting Spencer Rattler was huge, right? That's going to be really big for Shane's future. Whether or not the guy pans out is going to go a long way, because nowadays you only get 3 or 4 years to really, make progress. And, Shane didn't come in with a lot of equity because he'd never been a head coach. Definitely doing it the right way. Definitely winning public favor. But at the end, it's how much you win. I will say this, and Shane said this at the SEC spring meetings, and I talked to him at the reception. I said, man, I didn't realize that your last year there in 2010, I think this is right, South Carolina beat Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, and maybe Tennessee. You'll have to check me on that. That was the year Spurrier beat Saban, which is still the last SEC East coach to beat Saban in the regular season.
Right.
Obviously, Kirby did it in the rematch, but at one point, South Carolina Spurrier showed you. Now he's on the Mount Rushmore coaches with Saban, obviously, and Paul Bear Bryant, and I don't know who your fourth guy is. You can have a whole radio show on that. I guess General Robert Nealon for history's sake right now. But at one point, South Carolina beat all those teams. Now, that was the Steve Spurrier era, and Spurrier was 7 SEC titles in 12 years, 6, I think, recognized. I mean, I don't even think Nick's done that. But could South Carolina have that sort of ceiling again? I don't know, because Clemson's there, right? If Clemson's good, South Carolina, I don't know. To me, I think that I hate to say it because I'm rooting for. I don't mind telling you this. I'm rooting for Shane. I'll tell you why I'm rooting for Shane. Because he's not a jerk to the media. Because he's not afraid to be a nice guy. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to shut your program down and put it behind the wall like some Eastern Bloc country from the 70s. You can be a nice guy. You can still have access. You can treat people well. And Shane Beamer does that. So you're doggone right. I root for people like that, guys. I don't mind telling you. I like people that are polite and respect their fans and respect their audience and represent themselves and their family in a positive way. So, but I do, to be frank, I'm still skeptical because the East is tough. I know the West is historically dominant, but I think Tennessee has turned a corner. I think they're onto something. I think they'll benefit a great deal from the NIL and Heupel's offense. Florida's down, but as I said, they got the Nick Saban starter kit there. I guess Napier once got coffee or coached with Saban or whatever back in the day. And I think Georgia is still really talented and strong. Kentucky's probably as good as they'll ever be right now, with that 10 win plateau, whatever. I think their basketball players are still driving Porsches and their quarterback's driving a pickup, though, so it's still Kentucky. So I think it's tough. I think it's going to be tough, but I'm hoping Beamer gets it done.
All right, he is Mike Griffith. You can go follow him on Twitter at MikeGriffith32 and read him at Dog Nation. See him on the SEC Network. Mike, thank you for the time. It is always a pleasure talking with you. Hope you have a great weekend.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too, Mike, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And Johnston RV Center can get you into a great deal right now. Getting ready for football season, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Yeah, they've just dropped prices on their Coachman Clippers and a few of the Alpha Wolf models. Now, we've been telling you about those Alpha Wolves. You can get in those as low as $279 a month with 10% down and approved credit, obviously. But these travel trailers, man, they've got great deals on them now. In fact, a Clipper travel trailer starting at just $16,946 includes a lifetime warranty. Great deals at Johnston RV Center. Go see them in person, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, or exit 334 in Decatur, and always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Down at Thompson in Alabaster, it's become a big high school football powerhouse. Defensive lineman Peter Woods, 5-star defensive lineman, has announced his commitment date. He's going to do it at 6:45 at night, July the 8th, choosing between Alabama, Florida, Clemson. He's taken Oklahoma off that list where he, had a relationship with Brent Venables. Clemson's still on that list. Oklahoma's off the list. The fourth team he's put on the list to go with Alabama, Florida, and Clemson?
Jackson State.
It is Jackson
Is
State.
it really?
Yeah. I was suckering you. I thought you were going to say South Carolina because we were just talking about Shane Beamer, or there's no Georgia on there, there's no Auburn on there, but it's Jackson State.
I mean, if Dion could pull that.
5-star D lineman Peter Woods at Thompson. Alabama, Florida, Clemson, Jackson State. I probably would go. Here's a look at the announcement coming from Peter there. If I was ranking them, I would go Alabama, Clemson, Florida, Jackson State, and the likelihood. What do they call that? Crystal ball predictions.
Yeah, well, get out your crystal balls and you tell me.
That'd be my crystal ball prediction there. I'd go 75% Alabama and then slide it on down. But his commitment date's coming up July the 8th at 6:45 down there in Alabaster. I wonder if he'll do it at Champy's Chicken.
Oh, he should.
He should. I bet he's eaten there before.
Oh,
I bet he's
no
had some
doubt.
good Champy's Chicken.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, one more thing for us before we take our next break. I gave you this video, Tom Brady, as they were wrapping up camp end of last week. If you don't, here's the GOAT, right?
Right.
The greatest quarterback of all time, who didn't really know whether or not he was going to come back and play. At one point, he had shut it down and retired. Now he's back, and he goes through camp, and they're wrapping up a camp, and they've got a tradition every year in Tampa where they get kids from Children's Hospital and the local children's charities there, and they give you a chance, the kids, to come out and spray paint, if you will, color the hair of Tampa Bay Buccaneer players.
Okay.
And, it's usually orange or red is the colors that they will use. And you would think of all the events that Tom Brady would not have to be a part of or wouldn't choose to be a part of would be this event. But I'm looking on social media last week, and there's Tom Brady with all the other Buccaneers lined up, sitting in a chair, letting kids come up with sort of color spray in the hair and just really rock the hair with, they would put something to cover his eyes, and one little girl would walk up and she'd spray the can. And and the next kid would come up. Here's a look at it right here. That's Tom Brady doing that right there.
Good for him. It's for Children's Hospital, you said, right?
Yeah, I think it's children's charities.
Children's charities.
I thought
it's for the kids.
It is for the kids. And they're just all lined up there. And
that's good, man.
And there's Tom Brady. I mean,
good for him.
You draw the name out of the hat of which player you're getting to do. How lucky are you? You get to do Tom Brady.
Yeah, don't screw it up. Don't get in his eye.
Yeah, that is
don't blind him.
And how about that? An autograph too.
Yeah,
it's such a great look.
Yeah, good for Tom Brady
to do that.
Yeah, good for him.
Obviously, it washes out pretty quick.
I'm telling you, man, we have seen this a lot with, and we've said this on the show before. We see or get word of coaches like Brian Harsin or Gus Malzahn in the past, Nick Saban, Barkley, people like that do incredibly nice things for people, and it never makes cameras or whatever. It's just told to us or somebody texts us a picture, and they're not looking for publicity. They're just like, thought you guys might like this. I would say of those things we see, probably 9 times out of 10, it involves a kid.
Yeah.
I think when it involves a kid, it's immediately going to cut to anybody's heartstrings, right?
Yeah, 100%. All right, when we come back, we'll get to the trash segment today. Later on, LT will check back with us, and Buster Olney starts our number 4, part of our show being brought to you by Nichols Outfitters. It is Father's Day weekend.
Not too late.
And it's never too late to get something for Dad at Nichols Outfitters.
That's right. And right now, the Christensen Traverse rifle. It is a very, very good hunting rifle. And if Dad likes guns, this is a good one. And guess what? You buy one, you're going to enter into a contest to win a Christensen Arms Ranger 22 rifle right alongside it. If you have an outdoorsman in the household, if you're that outdoorsman, drop the hint to your family. It's the kind of thing that would bring a smile to Dad's face. Now to Father's Day, Nichols Outfitters, right there off I-65 in Pelham.
All the stories important to us are in one place. Catch the morning rounds each weekday at nextroundlive.com.
Vulcan Tire and Automotive is hiring. If you want to take advantage of joining in with a local growing company in the automotive service industry, this is the opportunity for you. Hiring oil and tire technicians and more experienced mechanics. If you've got the talent and the desire, there is a spot for you at Vulcan Tire and Auto. Stop by one of their 4 locations and the manager on site can walk you through the pay scale, great benefits, and flexible work schedule. Get paid to build your future in the industry. Moody, Trustful, Hoover, and Gardendale, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
Banking is not just about your money, it's about you. It's about getting help with what you need when you need it. Brian Brown here from the Next Round. AmFirst was founded for members like you, and they've been putting those members first since 1936. Putting you first means service that grows and changes with the times to serve you better. Now every bank has their own app, but that's just it. It's theirs, not yours. The AmFirst app was made for you, so it's easy to pay bills, deposit checks, or transfer money to friends and family from anywhere. It's even customizable, which means you can personalize your dashboard, create usage alerts, and redeem points for rewards that will make you feel like the #1 priority you are. And you can do it all on your own time. So what are you waiting for? Get the app made for you from AmFirst. Visit any AmFirst location or amfirst.org today. America's first federal credit union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Anheuser-Busch wants every experience for you around beer to be a good one. And getting home safely is always a priority. So encourage friends to decide to ride, whether it's by being the designated driver, calling an Uber, or taking public transit. You cannot drive drunk if you don't drive there. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Uber, Birmingham Budweiser, and the Next Round. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Want more of the Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, the Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Buster, at the top of the hour, several of you are writing in, Jason, Cam, and others, saying, hey, check out that immaculate inning thing done away. Not only did it happen twice in the first game, twice in one game for the first time in Major League Baseball history, it was the same three batters in both innings.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
That'll never happen again.
I would have to say, we've been playing baseball how long?
Yeah.
200 years, and this is the first time it's happened?
To get two immaculate in the same inning.
Same batter,
same game, and then have the same batters in the same 9
crazy.
pitches.
Yeah.
That is That is something that's like lightning hitting you twice. Vulcan Tire leaderboard update, U.S. Open first round. Finally, a name on top of the leaderboard I recognize.
Rory McIlroy, you know that guy?
I do.
Yeah, he is not in the clubhouse yet. The leader in the clubhouse is actually Callum Tarrant, a name you don't recognize, right?
Nope.
Callum
I would put him as a contemporary gospel music singer.
Contemporary or just regular gospel?
Contemporary. Yeah, not Southern gospel.
Yes,
Not the
Callum
quartets.
Tarrant. He's here. We're washed in the blood. Everybody welcome Callum Tarrant.
His song would be Mountains and Valleys.
I was expecting more, Jim.
Yeah,
With
Mountains
that
and
setup.
Valleys.
Oh, that set up, Mountains and Valleys. Callum Tarrant's latest hit, Mountains and Valleys. Callum?
Yep.
David Lingmerth.
A little bit of heaven, whole lot of hell.
Whole lot.
I don't think that's
That's more country.
That's a Christian song.
It's more
right?
country. You're right.
If I'm in church and somebody starts a little bit of heaven, whole lot of hell.
That's what Earth is, though.
Everybody.
A little bit of heaven.
You in the back. I see you.
You witch.
You witch.
You witch. I beat you to it.
All right. Anyway, Callum Tarrant, David Lingmerth, Roy McIlroy, all at 2 under par. Or 3 under par, excuse me.
Oh, I was expecting more from that update.
Oh, what do you want? Colin Morikawa, 2 under.
I think John Rahm.
John Rahm, 1 under.
He is, but I think
69.
I think he amazingly parred 18 after hitting his tee shot, basically into the restroom area.
Oh, was that his shot? I saw.
Yeah.
I caught the tail end of that shot. I did not realize it was Rahm. That was a heck of a par from right there.
He hit it into the tail end of the bathroom section on the 18th fairway.
Yeah, I didn't know that's who that was.
And he worked his way out of the toilet, the crapper over there,
of the loo.
And they got up there and sank a long par putt to keep it at 1 under. So that may be a turning point for John Rahm. Speaking of golf, Rockstar, can you give me cut number 2, Rory McIlroy, before the tournament started? Rory is out there right now. But Phil Mickelson was back this week. McIlroy has been pro PGA Tour, anti-Live Tour. Phil's, one of the faces of the Live Tour. It's the U.S. Open. USGA has nothing to do with either. But McIlroy, with Phil Mickelson being back this week, had this to say.
He won a major championship 13 months ago. Probably one of the crowning achievements of his career and one of the most impressive achievements in the history of the game of golf. So as a golfer, I have the utmost respect for Phil. I've been disappointed with how he's went about what he's done. But I think he has come back and shown some remorse about how he's handled some things. So I think he's learned from that. And I'm like, who am I to sit up here and give Phil a lesson on how to do things? I mean, he's had a wonderful career and he's his own man, and he's a great addition to the field this week. So, am I disappointed he's taken the route that he's taken? I am, but I still respect him tremendously.
Well, very nice of McIlroy there. Not as fire and brimstone, to continue our hell and heaven conversation about this week with the U.S. Open backdrop as opposed to a PGA Tour stop.
Well, I mean, he was far more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but what he said about Greg Norman afterwards. I mean, there was a lot of fire to that, and he seemed to respect Mickelson a little bit more, I guess, than he has respected Greg McIlroy, Greg Norman. Greg Norman. I combined the two and got a former Alabama quarterback out of it.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, but you can see, Dunaway, this root of bitterness. I don't know if bitterness is the right word, but this issue these guys that have stayed back on the PGA Tour have with these guys that have cashed in and taken the money.
Justin Thomas goes out at 12:45 Central today for his first round of the U.S. Open. The Alabama golfer, I think, has a sentiment that a lot of, at least I am at this point now, about this conversation. Here's Justin Thomas.
I mean, you can't go anywhere. I'm sure it's the same with y'all. You can't go anywhere without somebody bringing it up. But that's just kind of one of the things I spoke to earlier. It's just like, it's sad. Like, this is the U.S. Open, and this is an unbelievable venue, a place with so much history, an unbelievable field, so many storylines, and yet that seems to be what all the questions are about, and that's unfortunate. That's not right to the USGA. That's not right for the U.S. Open. That's not right for us players. But that's unfortunately where we're at right now.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it this week because it's the U.S. Open. I agree with JT. It's a big storyline in sports, in the world. It's a big storyline. But this is the freaking U.S. Open.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, we can worry about the Live Tour. That's like, to me, going to, the Super Bowl, and you're going to talk to me about they've come up with a new sponsor for the Tangerine Bowl. I don't care. I'm here to watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
This is the U.S. Open. I don't care what they're doing at the Tangerine Bowl of golf.
Tripp hits on something I've said, though. He says the golf media keeps calling the Live members immoral as if the golf media is the arbiter of morality, getting tired of the smear campaign by the PGA Tour and the collective golf media. I have said that about the golf media. That is one thing that bothers me, are these guys acting as if they 100% would say no to this kind of money.
Yeah.
You can't act that way. There's no way you know until it's offered.
Well, in the last 5 days, this sports discussion has become a lot more conservative and liberal discussion. It's become, as we do everything in America now, we're politicizing so many things. And with the president going to Saudi Arabia, it has become a talking point now on politics and all the news channels, too. And that's why I'm with Justin Thomas. Let's shut the hell up about the Live and let's play golf. Tee it up. Let's go. Time for trash. Hit it, Rockstar.
How to get out of jury duty. Ask the judge if this is one of those cases where you're allowed to accept bribes. Try to roll your eyes every few seconds, no matter what questions you're asked. Say whatever and roll your eyes. Whatever.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Will you be able to give this guy a fair say in court? Whatever.
Well, I guess, can we just get to it?
Excuse me. Is this one of those where we can accept the bribes?
Yeah. That's my cousin, by the way. And he owes me money.
He's going to say he's not because he owes me the money.
Yeah, what'd that guy say to him that made him shoot him? I'd like to know that first.
When it comes to home equity, bigger is always better. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a program to help you gain more home equity while paying less out of pocket. Go big and go home by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. All right, we start with some photos that Rockstar has. This could be helpful to parents, Rockstar. I don't know if that's why you put this in here.
I just thought it was interesting that there's people that crack this code, that there's so many of these combinations and somebody had to crack this code.
So teenagers are buying deadly drugs all over America, and they're buying them from strangers on social media. They don't even have to name the narcotics, and that's the point here, is the DEA is paying attention, so they've come up with a way to use emojis to order drugs, basically.
Oh, wow.
So the DEA has the emoji drug code decoded. Rockstar has some of the emojis up, and I mean, I'm not even going to try to describe these.
So if I wanted a large batch from you, I just send you a cookie emoji. Like, I need a large batch.
That's a large batch. The Canadian maple leaf is just universal for drugs. I need drugs. I just use the Canadian maple leaf.
Because it looks like a
marijuana.
pot leaf.
Yeah, a little pot leaf.
Yeah.
Heroin is that a heart and a dragon?
Yeah.
A brown heart and a dragon.
I mean, honest to goodness, I think I used that after UAB beat BYU in the bowl game. I went heart and dragon there. And
Dunaway wants heroin?
I got to admit, it got a little lazy on mushrooms. Got a little lazy.
We're just going to use the actual mushroom.
This guy loves Mario.
And by the way, I can't look at that without thinking of the game Centipede.
Yeah. Cocaine is a little lengthy.
Oh, my God.
So that's a snowflake.
No, those are all the ones associated with it.
Okay. You don't have to do the whole thing.
You don't have to do them all?
God, I've never sounded older.
Yeah.
So they don't have to put the whole thing in there.
So you don't have to go snow, rain, snowman, diamond, 8-ball?
This guy's getting a diamond ring while playing pool, and he has the key to the pool house. He's really excited about it because he's going deep sea fishing afterwards.
So anyway, if you're a parent, maybe take a screenshot here or find the emoji drug code if you want to look on your kid's social media or their phone and see if they're ordering drugs. That's crazy.
Yeah. Or me just being excited about a big UAB win over BYU.
Or UAB's won a bowl game at Dunaway's house. Up next, Clark County, Indiana. State troopers came across an unlikely vehicle on a southern Indiana interstate, an electric Walmart cart. According to a Facebook post by Shellsburg Post.
Faster right now, that electric Walmart cart that you see pictured right there, or LT's train?
Well, LT's train seemed to be slowing down. The man was caught around 5 a.m. after he was found in an electronic cart pushing a construction barrel. Should I go around it? Nope.
That's going to slow your 5 miles to about 2.5.
That's right. Officials want to remind everyone that unauthorized vehicles like electric carts not allowed on the interstate. That was a poor choice of where to go, is the interstate.
Yeah. minimum speed there requirement. You know,
There
down
is.
on the
and a lot of big vehicles.
down on the coastline now, we allow golf carts.
Got to be street legal.
Got to be street legal and just a ton of them on 30A up and down.
Yeah, I was one of them. Do you not like that?
I'm okay. I'm in a bike, and if my bike can keep up with your golf cart, you probably shouldn't be on the road.
Yeah,
probably
but you
should
can't be on the bike path.
You can't be, but if I'm in the bike path at my age and I'm able to keep up with how fast you're driving your golf cart, you probably shouldn't be on the road.
While filming yourself.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was a little slower while filming myself.
You know, that's why the speed limit is what it is on 30A. So because I think there is a minimum speed limit where street legal golf carts are allowed on the street.
35.
35. That's why it's such a slow speed limit. Yeah. Here's a weird story, Dunaway. These two people are in love with one another, so much so they wanted to live together and die together.
Oh.
It's like a modern day Romeo and Juliet. Was that the one, Romeo and Juliet?
That was the one.
Or it could be,
What are you laughing at right
spoiler alert, it could be a scene in Titanic, too.
Bonnie and Clyde to an extent.
Yes.
That old couple in Titanic.
That's
they were
right.
like,
That stuck with you, didn't it?
yeah, we got to go up 3 flights of stairs to get a life-saving boat.
Or we can die in bed together.
Or we can just lay in bed together.
Yeah, let me hold your hand while we die, and let's put on our good clothes.
I don't want to go back out. I'm like Brown. Once I'm home, I don't want to go back out. Let's just lay in bed.
So these two decide we're going to jump off a bridge together and just die together. Well, the twist came at the last moment when the woman took the plunge and the man said,
Damn, that's far.
boy, that is
And I
a
don't
long
like her that
jump.
much.
I think I'm going to walk away from the edge of the bridge. So she jumped without him.
I do not believe that happened that way.
You don't? You think he pushed her?
Or he planned it that way from the
Yep.
get-go.
Well, here's the twist. Shocked at her paramour's betrayal, the woman who knew how to swim swam out of the river. They picked a bad river to jump in. It's not going to kill you.
It's great that we both don't know how to swim, right? Yeah, right? Yeah.
So she swims out of the river. You think she's a touch pissed when she gets to
A
the
little bit.
bank?
Well, it gets a little better.
With no more love left between them, the 32-year-old woman, mother of 6-year-old daughter, which is the sad part here, by the way, has now lodged a complaint against the man who was 30. The incident took place May 29th, and there is still an investigation going on. The officer in charge, now this is over somewhere overseas, said a complaint has been lodged against the man for attempted murder and damaging the woman's mobile. That's her phone, right?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, she jumped in the water with her phone.
He ruined these pants.
Yeah,
Ruined
I
them.
don't think we have to throw any more charges on it. It's attempted murder. According to reports, the woman was in a relationship since the past over a number of years. Some months back, she went to this city with her 6-year-old daughter. I'm just skipping these places. You don't know what they mean. In her absence, he got married without informing the woman. So she didn't know he got married.
So he had no intention of jumping.
That is right. They fought over that issue. He promised to marry her after divorcing his other wife. And then he was reluctant. After many fights, they just decided we'll die together by suicide.
See, that's a good conclusion.
This guy cannot follow through on
we
commitment.
We got to agree to disagree and just die over it.
Let's just kill
let's go
ourselves.
to a bridge.
All right, you can't swim, right? Nope.
But that is a typical Jimmy Landmine right there.
Yep.
That's my plan. And, of course, they move the
course.
shallow rocks, and
Yeah.
she survives.
Oh, God.
Gets out, and she's mad
Hell,
at
they
me.
moved the shallow rocks.
It's been moving the rocks in the river again.
Damn tide.
Well, I mean, why would you?
Shallow rock.
Why would you pick a place that didn't have shallow
No,
rocks?
I'm with you. I think they picked an awful place to try this.
Yeah. Why not just go to a building and choose concrete?
Or a volcano.
Yeah. But I think she might have known how to swim and knew he didn't, and she was going to jump and let him drown, and she was going to swim to the shore either way. I think she got caught. I'm just playing the other side of this. A man who was tired of paying to replace worn-out shoes has gone to an extreme end. Dunaway, he had his favorite pair of Nikes tattooed on his feet, and they look just like a pair of Nikes.
No, they really don't because his toes are sticking out.
How
They're too small.
awful does that look? Why would you do this?
That's what I was about to say, Rockstar. That looks like, God, you need a new pair of shoes, dude. Man, you're growing out of those.
My God.
The tattoo artist who did this said he's tired of paying for shoes, so he decided he'll get his favorite pair of Nikes tattooed on him, and he could see the funny side to it. Yeah, it's hilarious. Definitely a great conversation starter. His wife loves it too.
I do like from the side there.
They look a little bit like cleats, don't they?
Yeah, from the side, not too bad.
Yeah. But the toe thing is just
You
weird.
know, here's what I would like. I would enjoy that on the golf course where I could play barefoot. That'd be fun. But that, which is worse? On the right picture there, the right leg,
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That tattoo above the shoe. The shoe's not the worst tattoo on that leg.
It's like a woman in a sheath.
Yeah, it really does. And she is upset about something. By the way, 2 million views on Instagram and TikTok of the video of him doing the tattoo.
Oh, he's making money.
2 million views.
Hey, there you go. Forrester, will you get that done so we can get a few more views
Somebody
today?
needs to do that when the cameras show up later
Don't
today.
do shoes, do gloves.
Finally, 25 people have been treated for burns in northern Switzerland after they walked across hot coals as part of a team building exercise. Good job, team. We're all going to the hospital together, too.
Well, this is an Office episode, isn't it?
It really is.
Pam was the only one that did it. Nobody saw her.
13 of them were taken to the hospital treated for more severe injuries after the incident Tuesday evening. A large emergency response, including 10 ambulances, arrived at the private event around 6 o'clock local time.
Overkill.
Yeah, I would say so. Rockstar's got at least one photo of it here. The group walked over a bed of coals that was several meters long and felt pain shortly after. Imagine that.
Hey, Dave, do you feel pain? Yeah,
Okay,
shortly after.
Right at my feet.
But look, now, if I'm scoring at home, you see all the red hot coals in the near camera?
Uh-huh.
That's a little beaten down dust over there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The story goes on, Jim, to say it's not clear if there was an issue with the setup of coals or how the group walked across them. No, I think it's pretty clear. They walked across the ones that were a little too hot for their feet.
I saw a picture yesterday about walking your pets on hot asphalt and how like if the temperature's outside, the asphalt temperature is this, and you can start getting skin damage at like 125 degrees of the asphalt, which seemed to be only like 90 degrees of air temperature.
Oh, heck yeah, that black asphalt.
I have a bad habit of walking, to the pool in just bare feet, and it gets very, very hot. I did not know I was damaging the bottom of my feet.
Absolutely. And you don't get it, it's hot initially, but it's later that night when you've scorched them and you're like, dang, my feet hurt.
I have a bad habit of smoking pot around children. Don't know what's yours. Well, guys, I have a bad habit of walking barefoot to the pool.
Yeah. I made it.
Jim, are you seeking help for that?
Hi, my name is Jim. I walk to the pool barefoot on a hot day.
So we've got flip-flops for you, sir.
Hey, Jim.
Why don't you just not put on flip-flops?
I don't have good flip-flops.
They're okay. They're not good.
Always life is something else.
I don't have.
How do you not have good flip-flops?
Well, I had some
flip-flops.
I had some good 3-stripe Adidas sliders, which were good to go to the pool or the beach with.
Sandals.
What happened to those?
I lost them somewhere in the move.
Oh, you know what? I heard that Academy Sports had some more there.
Yeah,
I just heard. I haven't seen.
Free plug. Way to go. So I've got a pair of not dress sandals, but like I don't even know what you call them. They're not Birkenstocks.
Dress sandals?
Yeah.
Crocs?
What the hell?
Got a pair of my Jesus sandals. But
I mean, my gosh, you're in the church play?
Made of leather. I don't feel like wearing those to the pool.
His gladiator sandals?
Maggie's got an object lesson, and Dunaway's got to play a disciple. That's my dress sandals for the disciple play.
And then everything else is sneakers. So I just go barefoot a lot.
Yeah.
But it's heating up.
You clearly have few choices.
It is heating up.
Yeah. Maybe want to go buy a cheap set of flip-flops.
We have a very small pool, but to get from one end of the pool to the other, I now have to dip my feet in the water just to walk.
Run.
Mommy, there's that guy again. His feet are steaming.
Everyone needs to be somebody's first choice, even Dunaway. Mortgage Right can help you be number one in the eyes of home sellers across the nation by getting you pre-approved faster than other home buyers. Be better than the competition by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
It is, though, like we're in Hot Springs, Arkansas. When I put my feet in the pool, when we get there, it starts bubbling up in steam. Old faithful. Back in a moment.
Follow Tom at Jay Luntz.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
There's nothing I like more than a unique, delicious meal, and that's what you get at Champy's world-famous fried chicken right on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Those great full fried chicken plates, the tenders, the po' boys, but I love the Southern staple chicken on a stick. It's perfect for a tailgate or watching the big game. And then the authentic Mississippi Delta recipe homemade tamales, the best I've ever tasted. See the whole menu or order online at champy'schicken.com. For Blues, Brews, and Bird, it's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119, Alabaster.
Summer weather is finally here. Make sure your air conditioner is ready for the Alabama heat. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the ones to call for all of your HVAC needs. Hemphill Services is a locally owned and operated independent train dealer, and the team can service all makes and models. Get the guys at Hemphill Services to make sure your HVAC unit is ready to help you beat the Alabama heat this summer. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, do what I do. Call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090. Summer weather is finally here. Make sure your air conditioner is ready for the Alabama heat. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the ones to call for all of your HVAC needs. Hemphill Services is a locally owned and operated independent train dealer, and the team can service all makes and models. Get the guys at Hemphill Services to make sure your HVAC unit is ready to help you beat the Alabama heat this summer. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, do what I do. Call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Listen up, guys. Nichols Outfitters is really excited to announce the opening of their brand new fishing department. If you haven't been by the store in a while, you need to go check it out. You won't recognize the place. All the brands, too. Ducket Fishing, 13 Fishing, Rapala Lures, True Bass, Shimano, Daiwa Fishing, and 6 Sense Fishing. I could keep going. It's all you've been asking for now in the new fishing department of Nichols Outfitters. See it for yourself. Exit 242 in Pelham and nicholsoutfitters.com.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Double the fun and more ways to win at Victoryland Casino and Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play thousands of your favorite games featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. The Trucks and Bucks giveaway is going on right now. We're giving away 2 Chevy Z71 trucks and $50,000. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Drawings May 13th and 14th. Come win at Victoryland Casino and Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Buster Olney at the top of the hour. Part of our show being brought to you by Greg in Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. My friend Greg Nelson, he and his wife own Storm Restoration Roofing. That company's been locally owned for over 20 years, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Had some storm damage in the area last night. If that happens to you, have the number on standby, 205-542-3531. Don't wait till a storm happens. Go ahead and have this number written down, 205-542-3531. The name is Storm Restoration Roofing. That gets you to Greg Nelson. He's the owner. Local guy. He's got a local, company that's been A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. The insurance companies trust him. Good family man, 10 kids in the area. He's not going anywhere. He stands behind his work with the best warranties in industry, and he gives you a free no-cost inspection. Absolutely free. Call the number 205-542-3531, 542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing, or just look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. All right.
People are telling you to do Hey Dudes in the chat room. Get you some Hey Dudes. I've seen people wear those.
I don't even know what Hey Dudes
are. You've seen them, I guarantee you. Rockstar's got it. Is that what you're wearing, Rockstar? Hey Dudes.
If I'm going to the pool, I just need something with no strings. I just need to slide my feet in.
Don't have strings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
You
want
slide in, slide out.
Yeah. It's got to be quick. Got to be quick.
All right. I was trying to help you there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep going barefoot until we see bone.
Oh, you're going to see bone.
Yeah, it's going to burn right through one day.
Mel Tucker, I think this contract's going to end up.
You think?
It's going to end up being, a weight on his shoulders.
I was going to say a weight around Michigan State's neck, but you think it's on his shoulders.
Well, it's putting a lot of undue pressure on him. But I just read today in The Athletic that in the month of June, Michigan State has pulled in 5 4-star recruits.
Yeah, I think Mel can.
2 this week.
I think Mel can probably recruit pretty well. I mean, I don't think, Nick Saban and Kirby Smart want you on their staffs if you can't recruit, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I just going to East Lansing seemed to.
No, that's tough.
I had no doubt Mel Tucker, if he got the job at LSU or Florida or Georgia or somewhere like that, Tennessee, he could recruit. Auburn, Alabama, wherever he could recruit to an SEC school.
Yeah.
But Michigan State did not seem like a prime destination. He's rolled in and pulled in just in June 5 4-star recruits. Is there a chance this guy ends up living up to $9.5 million a year?
It's going to be tough. That is it. Look,
because I penciled him in. They had a good year last year. I penciled him in to have a flash last year and then go away.
Well, I think, though, he's got a chance to get off to a good start this year. They open with Western Michigan. It's a Friday night game.
Should win that.
If you don't, it's going to be a long year, yes. That's a home game, obviously. Then they play Akron, so they're going to get a 2-game lead in the MAC right away.
Really bad team there.
Yep, so it's 2 home games. They go to Washington. That's an interesting game at Washington. I would, probably lean towards Michigan State in that one. And then they host Minnesota, and then they're at Maryland. I mean, you could start 5-0 right there, and then, again, everybody's fired up. Now, here's your problem is you end up having to play the meat of the Big Ten at some point.
Yeah, you're in that division. You get Michigan,
right.
Ohio State, and Penn State.
And, by the way, they get Ohio State at home, at Wisconsin, cross-division game. Or, I'm sorry, that's at home. Bye week at Michigan, and then they finish at Penn State. So it's a backloaded schedule for them. So he can get off to another good start this year, I think, and everybody will be – singing his praises again, but it's at some point it's going to catch up with them kind of like it did last year. They got lucky to win that Michigan game.
They did.
Michigan got screwed so badly on a call. So they got very, very lucky to win that game. And it eventually caught up with them a little bit. I think we forget that was a 9-4 team.
I agree with you, but it surprised me that Michigan State was having that kind of success in recruiting right now. Our friends at Hemp Hill will give you the lock of the day every day. They're also one of the proud sponsors of LT's cross-country trip. Hemp Hill, Vulcan Tires, and Bud Light Next bringing you all that. But the lock from Lance, from the road, from the train will go out a little bit later on at the Lance Taylor. Is he playing baseball tonight or is he playing the NBA? I know the Celtics are a 3.5-point favorite at home in Game 6 tonight, 8 o'clock ABC, trying to keep that series alive and send it back to the Bay Area for a deciding Game 7. However he plays it or whatever he plays today, you get it all at lanceslog.com or watch at the Lance Taylor on Twitter for a free play today, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill, Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill, the only ones we trust to fix it right, and fix it the first time, and they do it at a fair price. For all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name. Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090, or just remember the name Hemp Hill.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. HydroLive's got 3 locations, Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
At ERA King Real Estate, they're empowered by technology and driven by community. They have the most extensive training and the most innovative tools in the business. And they've now opened their 10th office location in Central Alabama. To find your agent in your neighborhood, text the word MOVE, M-O-V-E, to 35620. That's MOVE to 35620. In this crazy market, depend on a neighborhood friend. ERA King Real Estate, growing to serve you.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Conquer whatever summertime activities you want to take part in, all while wearing the perfect shoes. Our fit specialists take precise measurements of your feet and analyze how you walk and run so that your shoes fit perfectly. And we haven't forgotten about the kids either. We'll get them equipped for summer camp or whatever adventures they take on. Stop by the New Balance Birmingham store today, located on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Experience the difference a custom fit makes today.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at One Man and a Toolbox. One Man and a Toolbox has provided professional handyman services since 1997. Honesty and reliability are qualities that embody every one of their employees. From residential to commercial, One Man and a Toolbox, they've got a background to help you with almost any project. I've used them multiple times at my home. Give them a call today. Get that free estimate, 205-823-2111. That's 205-823-2111 or online, OneManInAToolbox.com.
Little sweet, did you make it out the door on time?
Yeah, but I have lipstick on my teeth.
Ooh, that color looks great on you. And you deserve a tasty treat. Did you take an alternate route and avoid 30 seconds of traffic? Or did you weather apple eye? Ooh, and now you're sweating in your shacket. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you nail the high note while singing along to your favorite song? Yes, I did. Woo! Did you perfectly parallel park without bumping any bumper?
Yeah, but I locked my keys in the car.
That's okay.
I need my keys, little sweet.
Did you get your kid in the car seat without losing your temper? Buckle in, that's a win. It's one of a kind, it'll blow your mind. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Golf season is in full swing, and you know what that means for me, my favorite time of year. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round, inviting you to enjoy 18 holes of great golf at Ballantrae Golf Club. Just off I-65 in Pelham, Ballantrae Golf Club is one of my favorite spots in Birmingham. 18 great holes of golf designed by one of my favorite designers, Bob Cupp, and they keep the golf course in superb shape. They treat you like family when you're out there as well. Go enjoy Ballantrae Golf Club for yourself this spring and summer. 620-GOLF for a tee time, 620-4653, Ballantrae Golf Club.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, it was a fantastic night of baseball last night. Even if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan watching the Yankees, we'll talk to Buster Olney right now as we get to him. And I did get as we bring Buster in, I want Buster to hear this as well. I know you got to do some business as we bring him in, but I did get a DM from a local TV station in Atlanta saying, hey, the traffic you're getting about Buster. What's going on there? And I had to explain to him the story in Atlanta. So he may be getting a call from local Atlanta TV at some point.
Hey, Buster, how are you? I know you're tired of hearing
All right.
it.
Whatever you got coming my way, I completely earned. Okay.
Yes.
I totally deserve it. And believe me, I've told you guys before, my son is a huge Braves fan. And after every win now, he just sends me the number.
Yes.
9,
Yeah.
10, 11, late last night, 14.
Yeah.
He loves it. And I told him about you guys, and he loves his dad looking like an idiot.
Not an idiot. I mean, it's all fun and games, but it would be hilarious if it got to be 28 and it did become this big, huge story. I mean, it would be amazing.
No, it wouldn't. And I got to, at some point, I got to appeal to my Vanderbilt guys, Dansby Swanson, Kyle Wright, and say, please rescue an idiot alum. Can you just lose one game for God's sake?
Buster joins us each week courtesy of our friends at ATIX, AAATix.com on Twitter, 822-73, or excuse me, online, 822-7382 is the number. Giants and Dodgers coming to Truist Park, and they've got tickets for those games against the Braves. Buster, when I was a kid, I grew up in Anniston, and I know you don't know where that is. It's halfway between Birmingham and Atlanta. And when I was a kid, I don't know if you remember this, Dunaway, that Braves-Dodgers ticket was the most coveted ticket. When the Braves were an NL West team, for whatever reason, and the Dodgers would come to town, that is the one you would want.
Oh, yeah, and I do know because I grew up a huge Dodger fan. And I remember, you'd watch those games on television, and yeah, there was a lot of excitement. And this would be, for the Braves, a great series, just to sort of as a check, this homestand, sort of where they are when you play teams like that.
All right, so let's address that division though, because I was reading this morning, the Mets are getting Scherzer off the injury list and DeGrom off the injury list, but they don't necessarily know when those guys will make starts, but they are getting a little bit healthier.
They are. We had the Mets in Sunday Night Baseball last weekend, so did some reporting on that. Scherzer is ahead of DeGrom right now in going through this throwing program, coming back from this strained side that he had. If he starts within a couple weeks, I don't think that would shock anybody. If you saw Jacob DeGrom on a mound sometime around the All-Star break, that would not be a shock. But if you're the Mets, look, you're seeing the Braves doing what they're doing, and you still feel like, you have a 4-game lead, and the two guys you're going to add to their rotation sometime before the trade deadline, as I say, likely before the All-Star break, are probably going to be better than any two players who are acquired before the trade deadline. So a good team that's playing well and still losing ground to the Braves is going to get better by getting two of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, and I will say to all the Braves fans who have fun with Buster on our show, the Braves have won 14 straight, but they have not caught the Mets yet.
No,
and
Buster's still right.
4 games is still a
No. I'm not right. I'm definitely wrong, okay? Because I said it was over.
Yeah,
and
okay.
regardless of whether or not the Braves actually catch them, it clearly ain't over. So I am 100% wrong.
All right.
Okay,
Fair enough.
We won't say it's over in the American League East, but last night after my Rays lose a close one, 4-3, they're 30 games above 500. The Yankees are. How good is this Yankees team, and where's the ceiling for this team?
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not going to say it's over either. Okay. Look, it was very interesting because in spring training, they got a lot of criticism as they were getting ready for the season because the fan base up here in New York was absolutely livid that they didn't do more, that they didn't spend money on one of the big shortstops and land Corey Seager or Carlos Correa or one of those guys. But quietly, when I remember talking to Aaron Boone at the Yankees camp early in spring training, he was like, our defense is going to be a lot better. Like they felt good about the changes they made. The big question was, as it always is with that team in recent years, how healthy could they stay? Well, guess what? The rotation has remained intact. Jamison Taillon, Luis Severino, guys who've had a lot of injury issues, those guys have remained intact. Cortez has become one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think in part because we have this whole generation of pitchers throwing 100 miles an hour, and suddenly you get a funky left-hander who's mixing speeds and moving the ball around and has refined his craft. He's a lot better. Their bullpen's good. And Aaron Judge is having one of the best seasons we've seen in recent years. I think he's got a real shot to hit 60 home runs this year. It will be interesting to me how aggressive they are before the trade deadline, because it's an excellent 30 games over 500 already. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is, Buster. And we had this discussion earlier on the show in anticipation of your visit. I mean, at what point do we start talking historically good team? And now this is the Yankees, so you gotta hit a high bar just to be historically good in that franchise's history. But in all of Major League history, at what point do we start saying, hey, this might be one of the historically great teams we've seen in a regular season?
I don't think we have that conversation really until we get to the postseason, because the team that won the most games in the regular season, the 2001 Mariners, when we talk about greatest teams ever, we don't ever talk about them because they didn't go on and win in the postseason. You know, that year, that was right after 9/11, as you guys remember, in the American League Championship Series, the Yankees riding that wave of emotion in their city, and they beat the Mariners in 5 games in that series. And so the Mariners became one of the teams we don't talk about, the best teams we don't talk about. I covered the 98 Yankees, who won 125 games in 1998. That, to me, is the greatest team of all time. And when I remember that year about Joe Torre, their manager, he said, you know, every time you hit a benchmark, you're 10 games over 500, then you aim for 20. And then you get to 20 and you aim for 30. It's incredible that this team this year is at 30, looking at trying to go 40 games over 500. Guys, if they played 500 the rest of the year, they're going to win 96 games.
Wow.
That tells you how well they're playing right now.
So if they just play 500, they win 96 games. That is amazing. Buster's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I cannot imagine how much baseball you consume on a daily basis. When you see the Astros last night get 2 immaculate innings the way they did, how does that resonate with you? Is that something that moves the needle at all with you?
And that is the exact question I was asking myself this morning. First off, it's something's never happened before to have 2 pitchers do it, on the same day, and let alone on the same team. And interestingly, the same 3 guys were retired with the immaculate inning. But I got to tell you, I was thinking of my friend Boog Shambi, a terrific announcer, ESPN, Chicago Cubs now. He views the hitting for the cycle as being something that's not very interesting. It's just in his mind, a series of coincidences, and he'd rather have a guy hit 4 home runs and get a single, double, triple, and homer. I kind of feel that way about this. Like it's interesting, but it feels more like a curiosity, especially in this era, guys, when so many hitters are striking out. Is there really a difference between a guy getting in 9 pitches and 10 pitches? Tip of the cap to the 2 Astro pitchers who got it done. It didn't really move the needle for me. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
Yeah,
I wasn't blown away. Now, when I found out it was the same 3 batters both times.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that was a little
That's
more.
like Twilight Zone stuff.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder how good those 3 guys are.
they were out last night, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't move the needle for me. I'm with you on that, Buster. Buster Olney is with us, courtesy of our friends at ATIX 722-8387. All right, done it with Brown. 822-7382. 822-7382. Buster, it's my first day here. I apologize. AAATix.com. Buster and the gang will be watching Scott's favorite team, the White Sox, at the Astros. There's that great scene in a movie I love, Shawshank Redemption, where Andy Dufresne tells Ward Norton, you're just being obtuse. You're just being obtuse. And I feel like Tony La Russa is just being obtuse, Buster, about this whole walking a guy with 2 strikes. It just felt like he dug a deeper hole when he tried to explain what appeared just to be Tony La Russa forgetting what was going on or something.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was as defensive as he was. Because if you're Tony La Russa, and in my mind, if you look at the landscape of major league managers and what they accomplished, you can make a strong argument he's number 1 all time. Total number of games win, the way that he changed the way bullpens were used, et cetera, et cetera. And so why not just give the numbers behind it? And let me tell you something, is for as much criticism as he's taken on this, if you actually look at the numbers for Trey Turner hitting with 2 strikes from 2020, 2022, there is some logic. It's not the move I would have made. It's probably not the move you guys would have made, but there is some logic behind it. But I don't understand why he was so defensive. There were chants by White Sox fans over the weekend, fire Tony. I can tell you right now, Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, is the most loyal owner in sports. Like, and probably, certainly to a fault. You guys remember, the terrific outfielder Harold Baines.
Yes.
He was traded to the Rangers, and the White Sox, because Jerry felt bad about trading Harold, they retired his number as an active player. I mean, think about that, okay? He's always talked about, firing Tony La Russa in the mid-'80s was the worst mistake he's made in professional baseball. So anybody who thinks that the White Sox are going to fire Tony in a year after they won the division, in a year in which they've had so many injuries, I just don't see it happening unless Tony goes to Jerry and said, look, you need to get me out of here. And that's not Tony's personality.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You can have all the logic you want. When Max Muncy hits a home run behind it, it's not going to matter. I mean, you could it could have been the 11th commandment, but with Muncy hits a home run, it doesn't matter.
And that's why I don't understand why he was so defensive. I covered Bruce Bochy for years. To me, he's a guy, one of the best managers of all time. And you would ask Bochy a question, and he would always be very direct, and he'd be very polite, and he'd be very respectful. And privately, he knew a lot more than some idiot like me, right? And he had his logic. And that's what surprised me about Tony's reaction. Like, dude, you're Tony La Russa. Who cares what some reporter thinks or some fan thinks? You made the decision you think was right. Stand behind it.
And this is just your brains, your personality, your thoughts here. I know we're probably in my lifetime going to get major league franchises in Las Vegas and Nashville. Is there a city out there that's perceived to be a really good baseball city that maybe never gets a great franchise, but you people in the baseball industry says, maybe it's Indianapolis, maybe it's Charlotte, maybe it's Memphis, maybe it's Portland, I don't know. Is there a city out there that's known as a great baseball city that may never have a franchise, but you guys respect in the business?
Well, and I'm biased because I worked in Nashville for the old Nashville Banner, and I remember when I covered the Nashville Sounds going up to Indianapolis. I loved going there, loved the ballpark, all the brick in that ballpark. And at that time, the signature player on that team was a guy named Razor Shines. And the PA announcer, when he would introduce him, and I'm not going to do it justice here, but he would go, Razor Shines. I love going there. And I think if I'm right, wasn't 8 Men Out one of the great baseball movies? Parts of it, I think, were filmed in that ballpark.
I think so, yes. I think so, in Indianapolis. I love that ballpark there, and that's why I brought up Indianapolis, because we parked. We went to the national championship game in Indy, and one of our sponsors, Johnson RV, a big RV, and we had to park down by the baseball field for one of the events we went
stadium,
to. It was a good-looking stadium they built downtown.
It really is. Razor Shines, former Birmingham Barons manager, by the way, here in town.
I didn't know that.
That's right. He ended up managing
He was awesome.
Yeah. All right, Buster, before you go, people want us to ask you, there's like an artifact over your right shoulder there. Can you tell us what that is?
You talking about the Abraham Lincoln picture?
Well, actually, Rockstar wanted us to ask you why you had a photo of
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis on the wall.
So the picture of Abraham Lincoln, my stepfather's last name is Lincoln. He's a very distant relative of Abraham Lincoln. I got to be a Civil War buff when I was 7 years old when my mom and Ed got married. And then the artifact is actually a letter from Walt Whitman to one of my great uncles. Written back in like the late 1880s.
How about that?
Did you ever see the HBO documentary Living with Lincoln?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was there's only one picture of Abraham Lincoln and Martha in the same.
Oh, yeah?
Or what's her name? What was the
Mary?
Mary Todd.
Mary Todd.
There's only one picture of him and her, like they're at a house and they're like maybe 60 feet apart. That's the only picture of them.
Really? They're
in
only
the same
existing
frame.
photo? Wow. All right, so a little history and a little baseball with Buster Olney of ESPN. You can see them Sunday night, 6 o'clock, ESPN, White Sox at the Astros. Buster, thank you for the time. Have a great week.
All right, pray for me as we go forward with this Brave streak.
Yeah, well, we've got you in our minds, Buster. Thank you.
I'm cheering for 21. I like that as a jumping off point every week. Thank you, Buster.
Buster with us on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us each week courtesy of ATIX, 822-7382 and AAATIX.com.
No, that's Whitey Ford, I believe you're thinking of, Dave, on Twitter. Walter Whitman was a poet, right?
Walt Whitman
American
was
poet?
he was a writer. I don't know
he
if
was
he did
in
a lot of
Breaking Bad, right?
What was the famous book Walt Whitman did? I had to read it in college.
Green Sleeves, what was it called? Leaves of
hang on,
Leaves of Grass.
Yeah,
maybe?
something like that. I can't remember. I did not like his writing.
Leaves of Grass.
Yeah, I had to read something that he wrote.
Oh, Captain, My Captain. That was a poet, a poem. I Sing the Body Electric is a Walt Whitman
I do
book.
think maybe he was a poet, Dunaway. Essayist and journalist. He did a lot.
Leaves of Grass from 1855, Rockstar.
God, that's over 45 years old.
That's a long time ago.
We appreciate Buster being with us every week. I mean, what is that worth, I wonder? It's actually handwritten.
Yeah,
from
because,
Walt Whitman.
he's from the 1800s, Walt Whitman is.
Yeah.
I know you just gave the date of the poem, but he is from the 1800s. I mean, that's an old one, man. You cannot really understand America without Walt Whitman, without Leaves of Grass. Somebody once said of him.
I feel like America's changed a lot since then.
I think I understand America, and I haven't read a lot of Walt Whitman.
Chances LT right now is reading a Walt Whitman book.
That'd be less than zero.
Better chance he's drinking Leaves of Grass than he is reading it.
100%. Yes.
Those sunglasses on, man.
He is not getting those sunglasses off.
Riding that train.
Hey, hats off to Lance, though. When he left here, I never thought he would do a real train and a real bus, and he has done it.
Well, we offered to book the trip for him, and he denied that.
Yep. It would have been easier.
He would be home right now. If he had allowed us to book the trip, and that's what we want to do is no. Do it myself.
Okay, two things. First, the Cowan Equipment poll question. Brought to you by our friends at Cowan Equipment. I'll give you an update. You tell us about Cowan Equipment.
It's going to work better that way.
Yeah, it'll work a lot better that way because I butchered the Cowan read the other day.
That's quite all right. Listen, if you have a hard time finding that new plastic on-the-seat piece of heavy equipment, check out Cowan Equipment's rental fleet hit list for a wide range of well-maintained equipment from the rental fleet. For sale now. Visit cowan.com/featured used equipment or call Cowan 800-239-COWAN for more information.
Okay, now we sent it out early today because we got a lot of stuff going out today, and I just, I wanted to know how well you guys were paying attention to what's going on the show, and I asked the question, who is the MVP of the Braves 14-game win streak right now? If you know, you know, and a lot of you know. Austin Riley, friend of the show, did get a little over 40% of the votes, but right there at 32% is our own Buster Olney, who's sort of the MVP of this win streak.
I love that Buster has a good attitude about it, though. And even I was going to give him the victory lap but even he was strict on the way he worded it, that it's over. And he said, when it gets to 4 games, you can't say it's over. So I am wrong. So a lot of guys, I'll tell you what, a lot of guys in his profession and in our profession would have held on to the bitter end. And if the Mets pull away and win this by 8, would have said, see, I told you so.
Right. It was
told
over.
you this thing was over.
It was over.
Buster's already saying, look, I am wrong. No matter what it turns out, I'm wrong. It is not over.
Even if the Mets win this
That's
thing.
right.
But Austin Riley is having a really, really good year. He and his wife, they have a new baby. Baby made the first trip to the ballpark. I believe it was last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. Austin's hitting the ball good. Acuna's back. Dansby Swanson has been playing well. He brought up Vandy guy Dansby Swanson. He's hitting the ball really well. It seems like every time I turn on, Duvall is hitting a home run. Ozuna's starting to hit the ball well again. Darno, the catcher, is hitting the ball well. I don't know how you Braves fans feel, but it really is starting to feel a lot like about this time last year, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I know we can make jokes about the Mets. They're not going away. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but you're going to have to deal with the Mets down the road here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not going to be something where the Mets are just going to melt and you're going to win this division by 10 games. I don't think.
Right.
I think at some point it's going to come down to Braves, Mets, down the stretch. So,
but inevitably it's going to be those Western Division teams, right? Padres, Giants, Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Padres, Dodgers. Padres, Giants, Dodgers. However, they end up shaking out there, and everyone eventually believes it'll. If you're a Braves fan, you probably think it'll be Braves, Dodgers again in the NLCS to get there.
Yeah, the Braves and the Mets square off in the next to last series of the year. I mean, it is way too early to start circling things, but Friday, September 30th, Saturday, October 1, Sunday, October 2nd in Atlanta. It feels like that's going to be a really big series.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to get out right here was our friends at Wayne's has this unbelievable deal going on. And I've said this a couple of times, and I believe it to be true. In our history of dealing with Wayne's here on the show, it is the absolute best deal Wayne's has ever offered you.
It's a really, really good one. We're going to tell you how to save on Smart Pest. But first, we're going to tell you what Smart Pest is. Rodents in your attic, in your crawl space, no bueno, right? You don't want to deal with that. So here's what Wayne's does. They've got a 24/7 Smart Pest monitoring service. And what it does is it monitors for those rodents. As soon as it identifies you got one, it proactively communicates to Wayne's. They come out and exterminate and end the problem. Two things you'll notice here. You don't have a rodent problem, and you didn't have to do any of the work. Wayne's did it all for you. They want you to save too, and they love you because you're part of our show. We love Wayne's because they're part of our show. 866-WAYNES-1. 866-WAYNES and the number 1. You're going to use the code TNR for the next round, and you get $100 off your initial Smart Pest service. But you need to hurry. This is for a limited time. That's how good the deal is. Dunaway said they can't do this forever. 866-WAYNES-1. Use the code TNR, $100 off your initial Smart Pest service when you call Wayne's today.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
The Next Round is proud to partner with Vulcan Tire and Auto, and we're excited to announce their first-class team and facilities are growing. If you are an experienced general maintenance technician looking for a new opportunity with a great growing company, go by Vulcan Tire. They want to talk to you. Not experienced, but interested in working on cars? Again, go by Vulcan Tire. They have a spot for anyone that has a can-do attitude, wants to work, and enjoys helping people. 4 locations and more to come. Vulcan Tire and Automotive, Moody, Trustful, Hoover, and Gardendale, VulcanTireandAuto.com. At Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, you can now drive the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI, the Italian sports sedan of your dreams, starting at $499 per month plus tax with $4,999 down, plus first payment and title due at delivery. Come experience the passion and performance of Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, 1837 Grants Mill Road, or AlfaRomeoUSAofBirmingham.com. Like financial lease, 10,000 miles per year, WAC, MSRP, $51,499. Stock numbers Q0059, Q0068, or Q0074.
Summer means cookouts and spending time with the family and friends in the backyard. Ryan Brown here. Nothing can ruin a party like mosquitoes. Wayne's environmentally safe Mosquito Plus solution safely and effectively eliminates mosquitoes. Plus, they provide protection against fleas and ticks, helping keep your outdoor entertainment spaces safe, comfortable, and pest-free for your family and your 4-legged family members. Wayne's has turned my backyard oasis into my happy place. They can do the same for you. Give them a call, 866-WAYNES-1, or call Waynes.com.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and more. If you mention the Next Round at checkout, save 20% off any service. You can join the IV League today. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about that. Hydra Life Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Summer of 2022. It's time to do something new. Ocean City, Maryland. And our friends at Residence Inn by Marriott, Ocean City is ready to welcome you. Kayak from Bayside Beach, swim in the Atlantic, dine at Bayview Bar and Grill, local golf packages, great restaurants, and a lot more. See everything online at residenceinnoc.com. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Do something different this summer. Residence Inn by Marriott, Ocean City, Maryland.
Little sweet. Did you make it out the door on time?
Yeah, but I have lipstick on my teeth.
Ooh, that color looks great on you. And you deserve a tasty treat. Did you take an alternate route and avoid 30 seconds of traffic? Or did you weather apple eye? Ooh, and now you're sweating in your shacket. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you nail the high note while singing along to your favorite song? Yes, I did. Woo! Did you perfectly parallel park without bumping any bumper?
Yeah, but I locked my keys in the car.
That's okay.
I need my keys, little sweet.
Did you get your kid in the car seat without losing your temper? Buckle in, that's a win. It's one of a kind, it'll blow your mind. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Do you want to have the experience of a lifetime and help a great charity at the same time? If you've ever dreamed of taking a few laps around Talladega Superspeedway, now is your chance. Come join us on Saturday, June 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the Track Laps for Charity. For only $50, you can climb behind the wheel of your own vehicle and take 2 laps around the historic Talladega Superspeedway. But if you don't want to take the drive, you can still come out and tour the Talladega Garage experience for free. Bring the kids and enjoy the game zone and kids zone, or have your picture taken with the famed Vulcan Trophy in Ruoff Mortgage Victory Lane. All proceeds from the event benefit the United Way of North Talladega County. You can enjoy a day at the track while also supporting a great organization. That's Saturday, June 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Talladega Superspeedway. To learn more, visit TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. See you at the track.
Mike Farrell's got something really interesting that he has put out. Brown's going to walk us through this. I'm going to see if I can guess them in just a second. It's involving. I want to see. I've not read the Mike Farrell story.
And there's one you will not guess. Okay. That's the whole reason I bring it up.
It's about replacing Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa someday when it's time to do that down the road. First, let's hear about Odie's in trivia last night. Tell us about the great folks at Odie's. And there was one trivia name that was a sort of a tip of the cap to LT's road trip, right?
I've got it, yeah. I've got it. So if you've never been to trivia at Odie's, it is award-winning. It's normally Will Haver, the owner of that fine establishment, Rockstar, and LT. But with LT on his trip, I filled in last night. And what you do is you come up with a team name, and we give points for originality. If you've got an original team name, you could win prizes at the end. Here was the team name last night. Did not win, but I would give them credit for originality. After a Greyhound cancellation, Lance and Leighton are now in a U-Haul with the Kenosha Kickers Polka Band. That's from Home Alone.
Home Alone, John Candy's band when Kevin's mom had to ride in the van with them.
That's right. That is a funny picture. I envision Lance and his sunglasses just sitting over in the corner.
They had those sweet jackets.
Yeah, they did. But anyway, Odie's is a great place to watch any of the games or go grab a great lunch like that Diablo sandwich we love, their famous cheeseburgers. Crestline Village, right there in Mountain Brook. It's a Birmingham institution. And don't forget, every Wednesday night is trivia night at Odie's.
The U.S. Open is going on in golf. Vulcan Tires bringing us the leaderboard update. Rory McIlroy's on top. Did he get to 5 under on 18?
No, he bogeyed 18. His only bogey of the day. So he's at 3 under. Aaron Wise, another as an American, he is at 3 under as well. He's been playing good golf. This shows you how tough DraftKings is. I have got Aaron Wise and Rory McIlroy. That's 2 leaders, right? And Aaron Wise. How many people do you think have Aaron Wise? And I'm still in 8,736th place. I'm making $40, but
well, that's all. As long as you're cashing that check.
Still, man, Aaron Wise and Rory McIlroy. How am I not a little higher than that?
Yeah.
They're at 3 under. David Lingmerth at 3 under. Callum Tarrant at 3 under. McIlroy, Lingmerth, and Tarrant all finished with a 67. Wise is playing the 18th right now, or his 18th. It's the 9th, but his 18th.
So that is going on at the beautiful golf course up there in the Boston area. Round 1 of the U.S. Open, Justin Thomas is on the putting surface right now and getting ready to tee off at 12:45, coming up in the second part of the afternoon session there in New England. Right now, about half American flags in the top 10?
Yeah, probably so. Americans doing quite well.
Half European. Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening there. Let's talk college football. And one day Nick Saban will not be the coach at Alabama, and everybody's taken a stab since 2012, the last decade, on who would be the great person to replace Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. And you say the folks at Rivals have come up with a list?
Yep. Mike Farrell at Rivals, covers college football and recruiting for them, came up with one. So you think you can name the coaches? He's got 5. He's got his top 5.
Do I think I can name them all? No, I was going to – I will give a list in the next segment maybe,
okay.
But I'll throw out a couple of names. You tell me if they're on the list.
All right.
First name that I would throw out, but again, this comes to if he's doing well at his current job, why would he leave that job to go that one? But Billy Napier.
Why is he going to leave Florida?
Billy Napier's the guy, though.
I say the same about Kirby. Now, Kirby played at Georgia, so that's a little bit different. But even if he hadn't, if you've got it kicking at Georgia good enough you can get the Alabama job, why leave Georgia?
Yeah. I never would put Kirby on this list because he's at his school.
That's right.
But Billy
Napier's the same way. If you're doing well enough at Florida that Alabama wants to hire you, I don't know why you leave Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a place you can win championships.
But Billy Napier's on that list.
He is not.
He's not. Oh.
Number 5.
Realistic. Oh, can I get
Oh,
one
yeah,
more? Give me 3 strikes.
I'll give you 3 strikes and you'll be out.
Mel Tucker is on that list.
Mel Tucker, not on the list.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, Mel Tucker has obviously Nick Saban ties. Just signed that massive deal at Michigan State. Not on the list. It's 2 strikes.
Well, this is a slam dunk here. Dan Lanning is on the list.
Dan Lanning, not on the list.
That's an immaculate inning.
An immaculate inning. That's right. Same guy every time, too.
Does that prove I didn't read the story?
It does prove you didn't read it, and I'll be interested in your 5. He goes number 5, Lane Kiffin. Now, he says, I have to put Lane on the list.
It's possible.
Even though it doesn't seem like an Alabama-type move. He's too colorful of a character in his everyday activities. But still, there's a reasonable chance his coaching record in the last 5 seasons in particular helps him get this job.
Yeah, but listen. Lane did a great job last year at Ole Miss. He's changed personality a little bit, but the Alabama job has changed a little bit. It's not and Nick Saban has made it a very high profile, not that Alabama wasn't high profile, but every time the Alabama coach talks, it's on SportsCenter now.
Yep.
And that's the kind of that's a recruiting advantage nowadays. I think Lane would be in the mix. Yes.
I would say if Lane won at the level Nick Saban won, he could tweet and say anything he wanted.
Oh, that's right.
But the minute you're 9-4, you catch all kinds of grief for that.
Yep.
Number 4, Bill O'Brien.
Would be a really good hire, probably.
Well, you know what he says? Let me start by saying I think it would be a mistake for Alabama to hire Bill O'Brien. Yeah. That's what he says. But I give him a better shot getting the job than Lane Kiffin. Satisfactory college resume. It's just 2 seasons, 15-9, incomplete as a head coach. What?
How can he say it's a satisfactory college resume? I mean, he was at Penn State during the darkest times in Penn State football history.
Right.
He held together a recruiting class and took over a program that was going downhill anyway.
Right.
In the late years of Paterno, I thought he did an okay job, maybe a good job at Penn State. He did a really good job with the Texans as long as you can't trade away first-round draft picks and stars.
No. Satisfactory college resume.
Yeah.
Now, he says his NFL record is bittersweet. 4 division titles a plus. 2-4 postseason. Didn't inspire a lot of confidence, especially when you consider the talent he had at Houston. He says he's got a temperament for coaching an elite program. I don't think he would have that type of success early on to appease fans and boosters. I give him a 15% chance of getting the job today.
Okay. So you're going 5 to 1 here.
I am, because I think 1 is the most interesting thing. Number 3, and you know we love this guy on this show, fan of our show, in fact, is Matt Rule, Carolina Panthers head coach. He, as Mike Farrell of Rivals, I mean, that'd be a great hire, I think.
I would love Matt Rule.
As Mike Farrell says, no Saban connection, so there's that. But if Nick retired today, I'd have Rule pretty high on the list. I don't know how any elite program would leave Rule out of a coaching search at this moment. He hasn't done very well in the NFL, neither did Saban. What did he do in the college ranks, though? All he needs on his resume for FBS job is a high program coach, is what he did in the college game. Took a bad Temple team, turned them into a consecutive 10-win team in 15 and 16.
Yep.
4 years in, bigger programs are calling, goes to Waco, takes a terrible situation. In 3 seasons, goes from 1-11 to 11-1 in a New Year's Six bowl appearance. Yep. Goes without speaking.
The guy can coach.
Yep.
The guy can coach.
He says 20% chance.
Would they look at Matt Rule? They should. Would they?
I don't know.
History says Alabama would never have looked at him, and then all of a sudden they looked at Nick Saban and got him, so maybe they'll be better in their next search.
Yeah. Number 2, Dabo Swinney. Now, I've never thought this would happen. Mike Farrell says I would have had him at the top of my list 3 seasons ago, but I'm reluctant to do that now. My issue is his stance on the immovable college football mainstays of the transfer portal and the NIL. Basically, what Mike Farrell is looking at is from a recruiting standpoint, he's taking some hardline stances that might hurt you in recruiting. So, all those things aside, I just never thought Dabo to Alabama ever once in my life.
No, it would to me, it had to happen really, really early at Clemson.
Yeah. Now, his number 1 is...
Well, I'm intrigued by this now.
Is really, really interesting. Luke Fickell. And then he says, yes, Luke Fickell. He is the most underrated coach in college football today. If he can win big at Cincinnati, he would win big at Alabama. I don't know that you can make that assumption, by the way.
I don't know if you can either, but do you think the guy's a really good football coach?
I do think he's a really good football coach.
I do too. I think he's a really good football coach. And hats off to Mike Farrell for coming up with that name. I would not have put that name out there.
That's why I was so fascinated by this. I haven't seen Fickell mention much to replace Saban, much less number one. He said, would Alabama be interested in Fickell? He said, without a doubt. His Cincinnati record by itself should have him on any major program short list. If Bama wants a coach that has the potential to be on the Nick Saban level, Fickell is your safest bet. No Saban ties. That might be an issue if Nick ends up being a part of the selection process, but I don't know that he will. I'd give him a 35% chance.
Oh, I do think Nick would be part of the,
I do too,
the process. I'm not necessarily sitting in the room and doing interviews and not necessarily, picking his successor, but if you're Greg Byrne or whoever ends up being the AD when this happens, you would go in and ask the advice of the greatest coach of all time, who do you respect? And so it doesn't have to have a tie to Nick Saban. It's does Nick Saban respect Luke Fickell? And I would think he does, but I don't know that for sure. I've heard him say great things, about certain coaches. Lane Kiffin was one of them when he was a coach at Tennessee. He talked about how well Lane's teams were prepared and what he was able to do offensively. He has always said great things about Jimbo Fisher teams.
Yeah, that may change. He gets a lot of tagged on him for that 1 year at Ohio State. That was an interim situation. But in Cincinnati, 4-8, then 11-2, 11-3, 9-1, 13-1. Won his division 3 straight years, his conference 2 straight years, and a good conference in the American. Look, he's done nothing but win at Cincinnati.
Of that
bad first year.
Of that whole list, Matt Rule interests me the
too.
most. And I don't know if Alabama would put him on their list to start with. I don't know how Nick feels about him, and that would be a place to start. And I think it's going to be one of those things that would have to time out pretty well to get Matt Rule, right? Because Matt Rule is going to eventually probably lose his job or choose to leave the NFL.
Probably this year if you were a betting man.
Yeah, one way or the other. Yeah.
So what does he do at that point? Does he sit it out and say, look, I got a ton of money from Carolina?
Yeah.
Because he will. He'll have a ton of money.
And then does Alabama hire a guy who doesn't have a job at the time?
Right.
Is he sitting out a year?
Does Fickell want to jump back in? Is he willing to wait for the great opportunity, which would be Alabama?
Yeah.
If he wanted to sit out and wait for a minute, Alabama would be the type of opportunity you'd have to jump at if you're him.
Always thought Matt Rule would be a coach at Penn State. Who knows? That may time out to replace James Franklin there someday.
Yeah.
My goodness, every year they keep giving James Franklin big contracts. I thought for a second when Harbaugh thought about leaving, Matt Rule could jump to Michigan. Matt Rule fits at a lot of places, right? Matt Rule at USC.
Yeah.
Matt Rule, a lot of places.
Yeah.
Matt Rule, next guy at Texas if Sark doesn't work out.
You've just never seen him at a blue blood, but most guys you don't get to see in that situation before they get a job. Like you got to see Urban Meyer at a blue blood, and if you call Florida a blue blood, someone call them new money. And maybe they are, but you got to see him at a really high-end college football program before he took the Ohio State job. You had faith in Urban Meyer before that. But before he got the Florida job, you'd only seen him at Utah.
Right.
There was still that element of a gamble. You didn't feel that same element when he got that job. Like Lincoln Riley, I've seen him at a top-level program. If I'm USC, I know what I'm getting because I've seen him at a top-level program. You just don't always get that opportunity with coaches, though. Sometimes you have to gamble and say, what they did at Temple and Baylor can translate into a primo program.
And I like that as opposed to just whichever year Saban retires, you go with the hot coach that year. I know what Fickell has done. I know what Matt Rule has done, Bill O'Brien over the years. For instance, if say it had happened this year, it would have been very easy to go Dave Clawson at Wake Forest because it's working so well now, and he's doing it with Wake Forest players, or the Doran guy at NC State. And I don't necessarily think that always translates to a place like Alabama.
It feels, to me, Dunaway, that feels like the NCAA basketball job that's open that gets the guy that makes the run in the tournament.
Exactly.
The Stan Heath to Arkansas guy.
Chad in the chat room, I think they shoot higher and get a guy like Matt LaFleur when Rodgers retires at Green Bay. Listen, Alabama can never hire a sitting NFL coach. That happened one time. Worked out pretty good.
That's true.
That was a different situation, though. LaFleur seems to be a NFL guy who wants to be in the NFL. Saban was a college guy who went to the NFL, wanted to go back to college.
Did not like it.
Did not like it. Was there to start with and then didn't like it. Somewhere in the chat room, a couple of you said any Belichick disciple would fit well in at Tuscaloosa.
Oh, boy, I don't know about that. Those guys have been hit or miss in the NFL. They would have the temperament to do it, but I'm not just ready to say any Belichick disciple can come in and win at Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, play it forward. If 3 years from now, when Brian Dable, if it has not worked with the New York Giants, and Nick Saban retires 3 years from now, do you go the Ray Perkins route, take a guy who's yet to win a championship with the Giants and bring him in to follow a legend?
Just because he was a coordinator for 1 year under Saban.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but like Matt Patricia, Rockstar's former head coach, is a Belichick disciple. In fact, I think he may be calling plays this year for him, if I saw that right.
Ooh, I don't know. Got that pencil behind his ear.
I got that pencil behind me. Is that the guy you wanted as the Alabama head coach? So I don't think you can just say any Belichick disciple.
Mike Farrell rivals with that story. We'll throw it in the morning rounds tomorrow morning. Brown brings that to the table there. Also, Rockstar brings this guy to the table every day. It is, I'll try to do it like Buster did Razor Shines. It is Adam Mestre.
Nailed it. He's a third-generation realtor born and raised in Birmingham, so he knows the area. You want a guy like Adam to find a house for you? Why rent when you can buy? Buying a home is the largest financial decision you will make, so make sure you are using an agent that you can trust to help walk you through the process. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking for your forever home, Adam can help. Call Adam Mestre for a free home evaluation at 205-422-0589 or visit mdrealtyllc.com. At MD Realty, we make house calls.
All right, producing on the air here. Do we have another hit scheduled with LT in the next segment?
Let me text him and see where he is. I'll text him.
Okay, let's see if he's pulling into a station on the train from Kansas City to St. Louis as we continue to do our Hemp Hill, Vulcan, and Bud Light next payoff on the bracket challenge, the punishment of sending LT to the middle of nowhere and him coming back on a Greyhound and an Amtrak train. And then we'll find out in the next segment if we're going to hear from him again. And I've got a fact or fiction for you. That's coming up next, right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com. Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice. Hey parents, is your son or daughter moving to Tuscaloosa this fall? Consider investing versus paying thousands in apartment rent. Lance Taylor here to tell you about our friend Tyler Bigby. Tyler is an award-winning realtor that helps parents find properties to save them thousands. Tyler also specializes in game day condos and residential homes. Find out today why Tyler is rated #1 by RateMyAgent.com for Tuscaloosa County. Call 205-826-6476 for Tyler Bigby, the Advantage Realty Group. Once again, 205-826-6476.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Did you know that many professional athletes have their shoes custom fitted to their feet? At New Balance Birmingham, we think everyone should have perfect fitting shoes. So our in-store fit specialists take precise measurements to determine your foot size, shape, and gait before matching you with the perfect New Balance shoe. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store, located on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Experience the difference a custom fit makes today.
When it comes to choosing a dentist, two things are critical: trust and comfort. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. It's why I tell you about Stone Creek Dental Care. Dentist owned and operated, and Stone Creek Dental Care is the Southeast premier provider of comprehensive dental care with more than 20 locations, including Birmingham, Chattanooga, Huntsville, Trussville, and Montgomery. Stone Creek Dental Care is able to provide a level of quality care you will not find anywhere else. From your basic cleaning to restorative dentistry, cosmetics, and endodontics, Stone Creek Dental Care covers a wide and comprehensive range of dental services for patients of any age. Stone Creek Dental Care Care's mission is to provide the highest quality dental care to every single patient in an environment that exemplifies the highest ethical, personal, compassionate, and professional standards, and to provide the best patient experience possible. Stone Creek Dental Care is currently accepting new patients at all locations, and new patients get a free Chick-fil-A gift card at your first appointment. So visit StoneCreekDentalCare.com to find a location nearest you. StoneCreekDentalCare.com.
This Father's Day, pamper Dad with a gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers. Spa days aren't just for Mom anymore. Buy Dad the gift of relaxation, a gift card from Woodhouse Day Spa. Guys, take charge and ask for that gift you really want, a Woodhouse Day Spa gift card. With over 70 options, there is some type of incredible service for everyone. Gift cards are available online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Drunk driving prevention is a priority at Anheuser-Busch. You can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Encourage friends to join in the pledge to decide to ride on decidetορide.com. Brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Uber, Birmingham Budweiser, and The Next Round. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com. Lance Taylor has lost the bracket bet, so Jim Dunaway, Rockstar, and I have chosen to send him to Salina, Kansas, the absolute middle of nowhere. LT now has to use a car, a bus, and a train to get back home, and you can follow his journey right here on The Next Round and on all of our social media. LT's journey back from Salina, Kansas is presented by Bud Light Next, Hemp Hill Services, and Vulcan Tire and Automotive. See how LT makes it back home from the middle of nowhere here on The Next Round.
Little fact or fiction here for you, brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports, getting you back in the game. We got NBA action tonight to get back into the game. Everybody seems to be pretty healthy in that one. And did you see, by the way, last night, Braden Point did come back and play for the Lightning. Made some pretty good moments in the game last night. It was key in some of the offensive moments and the penalty kills, but not enough as the Avalanche get the Lightning in game 1. 2 days off between the games, not 1 day off now. So a little downtime in Denver today for the Lightning and the Avs.
Must win for your Lightning next game 2. Got to win that one.
You probably said that at Madison Square Garden. The first one went down 2-0 and came back, got the Rangers.
Real hot take.
Yep.
Must win.
Got the old Rangers.
It's a must-win game there, Rockstar.
Yeah.
If they don't win it in 7, they got to wrap it in at least 7.
Yep. It's Precision Sports, so that it was bringing you not only that update on injuries, but getting you back in the game, our friends at Precision.
That's exactly what they do at Precision Sports. From pediatrics to geriatrics, those injuries are starting to pile up on the field and the yard. They are affiliated with Brookwood Baptist Health, Precision Sports Medicine, and Orthopedics, 9 convenient locations, including the return of hand surgeon Dr. Joseph Sherrill. Rebuilding champions on and off the field. Make that appointment today, 855-219-6200 or precisionsportsortho.com.
Okay, producing on the air again. This is our last segment, right?
Nope.
We have another quick break?
Do we have another break, Rockstar? I've lost.
track.
Lance is not. We've got another break.
Okay. Do we have Lance?
No, he has not responded. I think he could be in the sticks.
Yeah,
somewhere.
in between nowhere.
Yep, or
And
asleep.
Final segment, we'll do our final thoughts and give you a leaderboard update. But right now, a little fact or fiction. Chime in here, Rockstar, as well, on some of these. You don't have to do the sports ones. We'll start with the sports one, though. UAB wins the AAC, officially going now, July 2023. They win the AAC in football before they do it in basketball. Fact or fiction?
I will go. I don't get the tournament that's just regular season.
Regular season. Any championship. Give them the tournament.
Championship,
too. Yeah.
I'll go fiction.
Fiction. You think they do it in
I'll
basketball
take basketball first, yes.
I agree with you. I think they do basketball first as well. Rockstar, chime in on this. Bus ride for 4 hours or train ride for 8 hours? I'd rather do a bus ride for 4 hours than a train ride for 8 hours. Fact or fiction?
Wait.
I would rather do a bus ride for 4 hours rather than a train ride for 8 hours. Fact or fiction?
They are one and the same to me. so I'll do the bus ride for 4 hours.
We'll take the train ride.
4 is less than 8, last time I checked.
It is less than 8, but that train allows me to move around more.
Yeah.
But that's double the time, though. It's tough.
I've done both. I would prefer the train than I would the bus.
Yeah.
I think it's easier today than being on that bus. I think you can get away from bad smells better on a train than you can on a bus.
Unless you're the one that smells.
Yeah. Auburn, fact or fiction, Auburn is the last SEC team standing at the College World Series.
I mean, I don't know. I'll go fiction. I'll just play the odds that they aren't. I don't know how it's all going to play out, obviously. I'm not saying that I think Auburn's going to get bounced early. I would take the other 3 teams versus 1 in that situation. So I'd go fiction.
Yeah, I rank it like this. I think I go Texas A&M, Arkansas, Auburn, Ole Miss.
I think I might go Arkansas first. It's so bunch tight, but I just think Arkansas has turned the corner a little bit.
Okay, let's speed up our answers here.
Come on, Brown.
Caramel greater than chocolate, Rockstar. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fact.
I think it's fact, too.
I thought you didn't like caramel.
Oh, love caramel. You kidding me?
He does not like peanut butter.
You don't like salted caramel.
I don't like salted caramel.
Yeah.
I like caramel the way God made it.
Yeah. What?
He doesn't want added salt.
I don't want
in it.
added salt. I want it the way God made it, just normal caramel.
Quicker asking.
Fact or fiction? Yankees win more than 116 games, the record by the
fiction.
Mariners.
That's fiction.
You think they cool off
Yeah,
at some
they'll
point?
cool off.
I'll go fiction, too. Fact or fiction? Atlanta survives the weekend with their winning streak.
Fiction.
You think they lose
Yeah,
Friday,
that's
Saturday,
a lot
Sunday?
to win in a row.
Yeah. Chime in on this one. Last one. Lunsford, behind the glass, has questionable taste in movies. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact.
I think it's fact, too, but who am I to say? I
The
mean, he
man
probably
knows
said
the
same.
backstory for all the Fast and the Furious.
He does. He's watched them all.
Did I not see last night he got a private screening of the Black Phone or the Phone on the Wall?
No,
or
he got a private screening of a movie. They took his phone
He
off.
did. I did want to see that, the Black Phone.
It was called the Black Phone. That's
I
what
know,
I just
but they
said.
took his phone away. No. They took his phone
Well,
away.
it's a private screening. They don't want you to shoot any of it. That's why they would do that.
What is a black phone? Who's in that?
Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Horror
movie.
A horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
More like horrible. Take us to break, Jimmy D.
When we come back, our final thoughts. Maybe LT, maybe not.
Not gonna happen.
But guaranteed sponsored when we come back.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant Bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Culver's could have only started in Wisconsin. Just ask our team member Marcus.
Let's just say you can't take America's Dairyland out of Culver's. Like the real Wisconsin cheese on our juicy butter burgers, the farm fresh dairy in our fresh frozen custard, even our crispy golden Wisconsin cheese curds. It may sound cheesy, but we love where we come from at Culver's.
Almost as much as we love sharing it with our guests. Welcome to Delicious.
Wayne's Pest Control is taking pest control to the next level. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Keep your home pest-free and rodent-free with Wayne's proprietary Smart System. Smart is a digital, eco-friendly rodent monitoring solution that tells Wayne's you have an unwanted mouse or rodent before you even know about it. Wayne's Smart Service professionals will proactively set up an appointment to take care of that problem, keeping your family and pets safe and healthy. And right now, get $60 off Smart Pet Service with the offer code TNR. Let Wayne's create your happy place. 866-WAYNES1 or call Waynes.com. Golf season is in full swing, and you know what that means for me, my favorite time of year. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round, inviting you to enjoy 18 holes of great golf at Ballantrae Golf Club. Just off I-65 in Pelham, Ballantrae Golf Club is one of my favorite spots in Birmingham. 18 great holes of golf designed by one of my favorite designers, Bob Cupp, and they keep the golf course in superb shape. They treat you like family when you're out there as well. Go enjoy Ballantrae Golf Club for yourself this spring and summer. 620-GOLF for a tee time, 620-4653, Ballantrae Golf Club.
Hey, it's Jim Dunaway. Let me take a second to talk about my friend Greg from Pell City and his company, Storm Restoration Roofing. He's the owner, and it's been locally owned for over 20 years. Insurance companies love Greg, and that's going to benefit you, the customer. Storm Restoration Roofing is A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they'll give you a free no-cost inspection. No obligation, no cost. 205-542-3531. 542-3531, or look up Greg from Pell City on Facebook. It's Greg Nelson and Storm Restoration Roofing.
The USFL is making Birmingham the pro football capital of America.
It's going to be history in its making.
More fun for everyone at the best game in town.
We would definitely have a good time.
Nothing beats live football.
$10 a ticket, kids get in free.
That's fantastic.
It's all going to be right here.
I love it. The new stadium is awesome. It's exciting.
You're ready to have a good time? Come on out.
You got to be there.
What a game!
The USFL. Buy tickets today at theusfl.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our not-for-all-ages podcasts like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our not-for-all-ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Summer weather is finally here. Make sure your air conditioner is ready for the Alabama heat. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the ones to call for all of your HVAC needs. Hemphill Services is a locally owned and operated independent train dealer, and the team can service all makes and models. Get the guys at Hemphill Services to make sure your HVAC unit is ready to help you beat the Alabama heat this summer. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, do what I do. Call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090.
They just showed the clubhouse at this swanky little golf club they're playing the U.S. Open in. I would say Cord has had a diaper that color at some point since his delivery.
Cord is here, by the way.
Cord is here right now?
He is.
Oh, wow. It'll be the second time I get to see him.
He is consuming.
Yep.
Oh.
Shocker.
Well, I guarantee you he's going to poop out a little Sherwin-Williams looking paint. It looks what that clubhouse looked like
It's
there.
bright yellow. Dunaway said,
He is more the Dwight Schrute mustard.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is not bright yellow. It's a little mustard look to it.
Yeah, you're right.
Little green mustard mix is what that is. Like you take a little butter bean and a little carrot and mix it together.
It's very descriptive in here. It's very descriptive.
Thank you to Mortgage Right for being part of the show, and also the great folks at Hemphill, Vulcan, and Bud Light Next for LT's trip from Kansas City to St. Louis. As Bobby points out, they're still in Missouri. How's that possible? Did the train conductor get dysentery?
Derailed, apparently.
What is the name of the game where that ends the
Oregon
game?
Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
That's how
you
you end
died
the
of
game.
dysentery. So basically, Lance left here Monday morning and he spent basically 3 days in Kansas and Missouri. I mean, I swear, the Oregon Trail was faster. When they just went out west on wagons, they got through Missouri and Kansas faster than Lance has.
Really, though, how long do you think, like how far could you cover in a day back in the covered wagon?
I'm going to say a covered wagon went 10 miles per hour.
When you had people that were riding along beside you and moving a group of people across the country back then, I bet...
I'm going to say you went 10 miles per hour, and I'm going to say you tried to get 12 hours a day, so I'm going to say 100 to 120 miles a day.
By the way, he's texting me asking, can you call him right now because Zoom's not working.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he wanted to call in number. I was like, dude, we got like 3 minutes here.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's do it tomorrow.
I would say, Brown, that's ambitious. I bet you only covered like 25, 30 miles a day.
I don't know.
Remember, you didn't really have a lot of roads.
Well,
You had paths.
No, you're right. But once you get out west, not many trees.
Yeah, just those little things called mountains and canyons.
No. That's why Denver's where it is. They got to the Rocky Mountains. They're like, y'all can go over that. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah, I bet they did 30 miles a day. If you're a cowboy aficionado, Let us know how many miles you used to cover. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Back in the day.